So I want to quickly show us how to draft the back block. It's very easy to make, just like we did the front block. This is my starting line, and this is my zip allowance, okay, 1 inch. So the first thing I'll take is the length, the neck width, okay. So the same thing I took for the front, that's 3 inches for the neck width, okay, and this will also serve as my shoulder slope point, okay. So I'll also take my shoulder measurement of 7 inches. I'll mark it down. You can add your half-inch seam allowance here, or you add it when you are transferring to fabric, okay. Then having done that, I'll come down by 1 inch, just as we did for the front block too. Simply connect. So this will serve as my shoulder slope point, okay. So having done that, next thing is I'll take my armhole, which is 7 inches. I'll hold it there. I just want to be sure that it's on the same line, okay. Here, so I'll take my 7 inches. As you can see, that's the point there. Then I'll draw my line. Same thing we did for the front. The next thing is to determine the across back measurement. So for the across back, I said it will be minus ½ inch. So I'll just remove ½ inch here. That's midpoint. Come down midpoint, then get the midpoint of your armhole, then ½ inch you mark it. So I'm taking it at 4. Come in ½ inch. This is my ½ inch. This will serve as my chest line. Then I'll simply take my curve and mark. So this will serve as my armhole for the back. The armhole for the back is not as deepened as the front, okay. Some do ignore it, okay. Some just take the back without taking the armhole depth, okay, without taking this. So after doing this, next thing to do is, please pay attention here. It's very important, because this is a basic back block, okay. Pay attention. Now it's time to take my vertical measurements. What do I mean by vertical? So all my measurements along the body, okay. So the first thing I'll do here is, from here I will take my bust point, and we all know for the back, the bust point for the back is a little bit higher than the bust point for the front, because the back does not have a bust, okay. The back does not have a bust. So if, for example, if you took 11 inches for the front bust, that means the back bust will be 10 inches, okay. So it all depends on what you have taken. So because I took 10.5 for the front bust, so I'm going to take 9.5 here for the back bust. So I'll just mark it. So just make sure you measure your client accordingly, because it is not constant, okay. So next thing, the back does not have under bust, so I'm just going to ignore that, okay. No need for under bust. So just come to from here I'll go to the waistline. Now this is what I want to say. Because I am adding a bust dart in front. If you notice, there is a bust dart here. Okay, this is to help contour and shapen the blouse very well. So because I'm adding the bust dart here, I'm going to, this 1.5 I took as the bust dart, I'm going to deduct it from my waist measurement. You know why? Because the half length for the back and the half length for the front are never the same. Okay, so what do? Just measure this 1.5 from your tape rule. This is my 1.5 from my tape rule, so I'll just place it like so. So all my measurement is going to start from the all my measurement is going to start from this 1.5 mark. Okay, it's going to start from this 1.5, and from the front I took 14.5. Okay, that's the sorry, I took 17 inches for the waist line for the front. Okay, so for the back it will now be, so from here when I remove this 17 inches, so I'll still come here and measure my 17 inches here. Please note, this is not actually 17 inches because of this 1.5 here. So what I'm trying to say, if I measure from here now to where this is, so this will give me 15.5 inches for the back. Okay, so let me place it the way I took it. So this is my 17 inches. So I'll come here, place it on my margin line. I'll measure the same 17 inches. Okay, the same 17 inches I took for the front. For example, if you took 16 inches for the front waistline, okay, do not forget there's no need for underbust because this is a back block. So if you took 16 inches for the front waistline, if you want to measure the back, you also remove whatever dart. If you took a dart of bust dart of 2 inches, that means you are placing 2 inches on your starting line like this. Okay, and you measure your 16 inches such that after measuring and drawing your line, when you place it from here to here, you will notice that it wasn't actually 16 inches that you got, it is 14 inches. That's because it's 2 inches bust dart. Okay, but because of this, I'm working according to this client's body measurement. So the bust dart I took was 1.5 for the front. Okay, so here I measured my 17 inches here, my 17 inches. So I'll just take this and draw my straight line. So this will serve as my waistline. Okay, my waist, this is back bust, though it is not necessary, but I just took that so that we'll understand. So now next thing is to draft out to get my full blouse length. The full blouse length for the front is 25. Okay, for the front bust, for the front block is 25. That's from shoulder to the hip is 25. So here too, I'm going to place my 1.5 inches on the starting point like this. I'm not going to measure it the way I measured the back. Okay, I'm not going to measure it the way I measured the back, that I measured like this and measured 25. No, because this is the back block, I'm going to place it like so and measure my 25 straight on like this, such that when I'm done measuring, you will notice that the measurement is short by 1.5. So can you see? So this now is my hip line. Okay, this is my hip line. Now I want to draw our attention to something. The reduction at the back shouldn't have anything, I repeat, the reduction at the back shouldn't have anything to do with the hip line, as in the from your waist to your hip line. you know, when we are cutting normal half length, okay, if you want to cut from, if you want to make a peplon, for example, you are measuring from your top to your half length, right? And in that case, you have to reduce your half length for the back, okay? But because this is a full blouse, I am showing us this technique because if you decide to cut it equally, the front and the back equally, at the end of the day, by the time you join your front and your back, you notice that the back is longer. So a lot of people make these mistakes, and at the end of the day, they will now cut out from the down parts, you understand, and some will like it brings about confusion. You'll be wondering what went wrong. How come the front is longer, the back is shorter? You know, this is the problem, and the earlier you get it right, the better, so that you don't make mistakes. You already know what to do, you just go straight to the point. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: if I you know, this is the back block. Now if I measure from my waist to my hip, you can see I have 8 inches for this person. For this person is 8 inches for the back. Now if I measure the same thing on the front block, you also notice it's the same thing, 8 inches. Okay, the only difference is the waist. The only difference is the weight. So what I'm trying to do here is that I've been able to eradicate excess fabric at the waist region. Now from here to here is 15 inches, but if I measure for the front block, I have here to here, I have 17 for the front block. Okay, I have 17. Meanwhile here is 15.5 because of the bust dart of 1.5 inches. Okay, so next thing, I'll just take my normal darts. You just take your darts, so we all know the bust darts for the dart for the back is a little bit longer than the dart for the front. So from this point, I'm going to extend my dart by 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Okay, you can make it 2 inches, that depends totally on you. Now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sway back analysis. Okay, so I'm going to take the sway back effect here.